name is Ula bint Ijlal, and today I'm here to talk about my self-cultural report about the Maldives. I am from the Maldives, officially known as the Republic of the Maldives. It is an island nation embodied with group of atolls in the Indian Ocean. With over 1,000 islands in our disposal, Maldives is known for having white sandy beaches and crystal clear water in each island while being a 100% Muslim country. The earliest settlers in the area were southern Indians from our neighboring country, India, or Africans. Although with the coming years, settlers from different countries came to Maldives and settled down. Today, our ethnic identity is a fusion of Indian, Sinhalese, Arab, African, British, and more ethnicities, making Maldives a unique and beautiful blend of cultures. A lot of the time, the ethnicities depend on which island you're from. For example, Mala City was previously occupied by the Portuguese, or Addu City was owned by the British in the early years. We can see how having these ancestors influences our behavior. One notable example of this is Addu City. Addu people use one of the most commonly used phrases in Urdu is "gubadda" for friends, which was derived by the British people using the phrase "good buddies." Personally, I am from Noon Kudafari. Our ancestors were African. A lot of the Kudafari people have dark skin and curly hair and are known for being loud, celebratory, and vibrant people. The history of Kudafari is the story of an African king from Somalia who decided to come to Noon Atoll and settle down there in different islands. Among these Africans, there were a group of rebels who wanted to do whatever they wanted, so the king decided to send them away. 40 of these strong headed African men were given the chance to choose any island they wanted and start their living there. So, as they were traveling to the sea to find an island, they found a kuda kuda, which translates to little little, and furry furry, which translates to pretty pretty island, which is how we found and named our island. To grow and start their lives in their island, the men married women from the nearby islands and brought them to Kudafari. As you know from our history, Kudafari people are strong leaders who would rise to action and would not just go along with people bossing them around. Ever since I was a little girl, whenever we visit our homeland, we have events such as cooking together and eating at the corners of the island after cooking big feasts and having Boduberu shows every night. Boduberu is a Maldivian Boduberu is a Maldivian drum made from wood cut out of coconut palm trees and is often played in trios with which evolved among citizens as court music in the early days, although soon it became widely accepted as the soul of Maldivian music. Kudafari people love Boduberu. From ever since I can remember, Boduberu has been a big part of my island and was played every day and is still a customary practice. Although, as a Kudafarian, our soul connects specifically with Baburu, Boduberu, which was derived by the Africans. Babaruberu includes different sounds while singing and a lot of bending of the knees while dancing. It is a magical experience of letting your body go along with the sounds of music. I have seen people from my father to so many other family members just losing themselves with the music when the Boduberu is being played, especially Babaruberu. Myself being one of those people. Food in Kudafari is an extremely important part for us islanders. Once you have tasted the mouth-watering food in Kudafari, I'm sure you'll be thinking about it for the rest of your life. Our food is known to be spicy and full of flavor. In our culture of Kudafari, making food and feeding people is a sign of acceptance and love. This has influenced me a lot as I grew up. Now, whenever I have friends over in my house, or if I want to impress someone or make them feel welcome or accepted, I cook them food and become the hostess in my home. Kodafari is a tiny little island with a population of only 800 people up until now, making everyone closely familiar and related to each other. In the early days, a lot of the marriages were formed to cousins or second cousins for power, but also simply because there were only cousins. This led to a very collectivist culture on the island. Since everybody is familiar with each other, we believe that helping each other grow will lead to a stronger and healthier group of people and it will help develop our island. And the environment in islands surrounding Maldives and the capital city Male are relatively different. For instance, Male city can be considered as a concrete jungle, whereas islands are filled with luscious greenery and crystal clear water. Since the development is centralized, I noticed that the people in the capital city have a more modernized perspective and not so traditional gender roles. I believe that I believe that is because the education system is far more superior as well as the healthcare system. With access to these facilities, the disparity of health and education is evident, which leads to major differences in how people think. Also, Mali City has apartments, and living in the city is way overpriced compared to islands. So, to support this lifestyle, it does make sense that both gender roles having to be breadwinners and the families living separately. Whereas in islands, the extended families live together in big houses while having more traditional gender roles. Even in the way people communicate, in the city, it is spoken with mix of English and Divehi a lot of the time, whereas in Kudafari or other islands, it's more Divehi with our accent or dialect. And the availability of internet was available at Male first. I remember a time when my island did not have Wi-Fi at all. And one day they built one place with Wi-Fi, and all the children will go to this specific place to see videos and everything, which is also one reason why I think Mali developed a lot faster and into a more modern, Western-minded place with the roots of the culture still remained untouched. But while in the islands, the roots of the culture remained untouched by Western media. Since I grew up in Male City and went to my island in each holiday we got, or literally any chance we got, this had a significant effect on my life because I got the best of both worlds. Male has a more individualistic culture, while Kudafari has a more collectivist culture, as I mentioned previously, which influenced me to be both collectivist but also focus on self-improvement at the same time. To this day, a lot of the girls in the island follow a more traditional gender role and become stay-at-home wives, while girls in Male are more likely to study and support their husbands being the breadwinners together. Also, being a 100% Muslim country, our islands have a higher uncertainty avoidance culture because we have faith and come from a conservative background where the gender roles are often given as traditional responsibilities that is known to everyone. For example, for the longest time in my island, the traditional role of the women was to cook and bear children, while looking after their family, while the men will go lead the island and bring food to the table. One notable example of this is my father's side grandparents. While my grandfather was the khatib of the island and was putting food to the table, my grandmother was a mother to 14 children and was taking care of the family. My grandfathers from both sides were Bodu Khatib, which means big king, and Kuda Khatib, which means small king, who ruled and brought a lot of progress into our island while we had the system of kings. And even after the system was denied as Maldives developed and have a president and island councillors in each island, my grandfather from my mother's side led the island as a councillor after the development as well. Having such a strong family background as my role model, I have always envisioned myself as a leader and aspire to lead the country one day. My relationship with Maldives and my island specifically is extremely strong, with Maldives being a 100% Muslim country and being such an amazing country in all senses. I am extremely patriotic. I believe that Maldives has the potential to grow so much as a country. A big part of my personality is being a proud Muslim islander. I incorporate the islander lifestyle in many things I do, from the way I talk about my business plans and all, include Divehi goodness. The main language of Maldives is Divehi, although there are other accents and dialects. and some islands has a tone to their way of talking. My island is known for having loud voices and using sarcasm while communicating. Sometimes someone may say something in a tone which implies the total opposite of what they're saying. Also, the nodding of the head is to say yes is used as well. The norms of society are viewed as particularly important in the islands, such as dressing up in short and revealing clothes among locals can be viewed as extremely offensive actions, or refusing to eat in one's house after they have been offered food may be considered rude. Maldives has a long history of folk stories and believes in supernatural entities such as Santi Mariambu, who used to take children if they do not brush their teeth, or Safarukata, who used to take people who do not shower. As children, these stories had a lot of effect on us. But these stories were told so the children will take care of themselves, being scared about what will happen to them if they don't. There are other folk stories using supernatural entities to make people go the right way. Maldives believe in jinns and paranormal activities as we are Muslim, and in our religion, it is very much believed so that the more we get further from our religion, we become more attractive to these entities. So, in our culture on Eid celebrations, we have shown Rannamari and Delimali while celebration too, which is just when children and adults paint black paint or charcoal all over their body and form a rally. Maldives has an extremely different culture as it is a blend of cultures forming one beautiful culture of islanders. That's all about my self-cultural report. Thank you.